Ayo. Platman here. Doesn't quite have the same gravitas. All right, so we're doing a few things, but today is going to be a movie review. But instead of calling it a movie review, my wife has said that you don't really review movies. Honey, you don't really review movies. You kind of just ramble. I'm like, that's actually a pretty good name. So we'll call them movie rambles or other rambles, opinion rambles. I don't know, Plaidman rambles. I actually thought of changing it from Plaidman Speaks to Plaidman Rambles. And she's so adorable. She's like, but I thought you liked PMS. And I'm like, oh, I do, but I thought you didn't like it. And she's like, but you like it. So I'm like, this is what being married is. I love it. I love my wife. She's amazing. The movie ramble of the day is a movie I saw yesterday called The Menu. Sorry about my burps. Called The Menu. The Menu. Menu. Two words. The and then menu. Anyhow, first off, it's terrific. I think it's an R-rated film. I'm actually almost positive it's an R-rated film. It's not a horror film. So if you're like, I love horror films and I only watch those, if you're one of those people, don't watch this movie. Actually, you should watch it anyways because you might actually get some substance in your life. If you happen to be a person who enjoys food, I think you'll enjoy this movie immensely, but for reasons that you wouldn't expect. It's got, the premise of it is simply this, is a bunch of well-off people go to this very fancy and exotic and like removed hotel that's been in operation. You find out that it's been in operation for quite some time, and its menu is the best of the best. This guy is the creme de la creme. But it's not like in a city. It's like you got to go over here and then you get on a boat and you go to this little island and everything is locally sourced and the meat is aged like forever, yada yada yada. Not forever, like 150 days, whatever. It's fascinating because it builds it up without like overdoing it. And frankly, I found it rather interesting. And I will say it was rather interesting because there was a couple times we're in the theaters. There's a couple times my wife looks at me and she's like, are you asleep? And I was like, no, I can't fall asleep through this at all. This is way too interesting. And it was. And it was so beautifully done. So Anna Taylor-Joy and I can't remember his name. He was the guy who played Nightcrawler. And then I was trying to tell my lady, he's the guy from Mad Max Fury Road who's like, oh, what a day. What a lovely day. That guy. So those are like your couple. And first thing you notice, they're like, something's weird. I don't want to give anything away, so I'm not even gonna give like spoilers, but just like it was something I picked up, and my lady and I, because we're horrible people. Well, we're actually wonderful people, but it's actually one of the things I didn't even know this. I just can't help but talk in the theaters to her, not to everyone, but to her. And when we dated, she was like, I found out later, 5 years later, when we got married, that was one of the things she liked about me, was that I talk in the theaters and that I like subtitles and I talk through movies. Like, she liked that about me. And I was just like, well, if you fit a circle and a square and a circle hole in a hole. God, I messed that up. Sometimes I should have said it. Sometimes a square peg, square. I assume all pigs are square, but sometimes if you can fit a square peg into a round hole. There we go. And if I edited this, I probably would have like fixed it all up and like had jump cuts, but I didn't. Anyways, back to the movie. There's lots of the loud clapping, which I'm not really doing quite well. Anyways, so you have those two and they're there, and then you have some other people. You got like an actor and his assistant. You got like a food critic. You got some a-hole middle-aged guys who are just corporate hacks, and some other interesting people. You're like politician type and his wife. And they're all there to have like a really fancy dinner that costs like $2,200 a head or something ridiculous. Frankly, terrific movie. And then the pièce de résistance, the best part of the movie, hands down, is Ralph Fiennes. Like, Anna Taylor-Joy, who was in the Queen's Gambit, the chess show, she did terrific. Like, terrific. Perfect supporting role, arguably the lead. And Ralph Fiennes just owned it and made it amazing. So, simply put, watch this movie. I felt like there was a lot of subliminal things in there. It gave me very heavy, like, Saw vibes, and not in the best way. It was kind of like where, and I was using this bad example, but if Saw like was the equivalent of going to a fast food restaurant and the menu was like going to a Michelin rated restaurant. And I get that that's kind of a silly analogy because the menu is kind of about food, but once you see the movie and you figure out what's going on, you'll think back on that and you're just like, I see what you're putting down. Okay, yeah. And I'm not into horror movies. Like, I've seen 2 Saw movies, and it's like, and a couple other random stuff here and there. I didn't even see the It movies, but I will say that this movie is not a horror. If anything, it is a suspenseful movie, or a thriller, I think is the one-word description of it. Amazing. Terrifically acted. Very simple story. Very simple to understand. I wasn't left, when I left the theater, I wasn't wondering like, why, and all these other things. I was left satiated, which is exactly what you want if you're going to go and eat food. And this is a movie. And frankly, it's kind of what you want with entertainment too. You want to be properly satiated. And I'm trying to get out of all the food analogies, but frankly, the movie is about food, and it is about the exchange that individuals have with one another, and that you can do something, but at a certain point, it will catch up with you. And then also, one thing I will say is, if you give something your all, it's very important not to forget what were you trying to do in the first place. You strive for here, you strive to get up here, and it's like you don't want to forget yourself in the interim. A bad analogy, but I did see it right afterwards, was like 10, 15 instances of people who won a couple $1 million and just went hog wild broke and just totally, and even though it's not connected in a weird way, it is in a sense that, look, you want to accomplish this, and that is a terrific thing to go for, but you need to remember that when you were here, you're happy. Like, as we are with kids, like, we start as kids, we are just happy as a clam. We eat when we want to eat, we do what we want to do, yada yada. And even as we age up a little bit, we get to go where we want to go. We live in a world, the floor is lava, yada yada yada. We just want to wear whatever we want to wear. And there's a point in adulting where we kind of lose that fun. And in a way, I would say the movie kind of advocated for finding what your thing is and then like pursuing that. But then it also pivots in the sense of like, yeah, but if you do that, you can do that too much, and it can be problematic in that, like, so now you've shot here, and for what purpose? Are you happy? You're not happy. So to me, I thought that it had a lot of interesting themes. I thought it put it really well together. I thought it was a terrifically simple movie, all things considered. The setup, the characters, so on and so forth. You had some big names in it, but it didn't feel like it was a, Ralph Fiennes movie or John Leguizamo movie or Anna Taylor-Joy movie. Like, it didn't feel like it was for or just all about them. It was very much an ensemble piece. It was very much a us and them concept. There was a lot of terrific themes that I think anybody could enjoy and enjoy talking about afterwards. I know I did. So that's it for today. Happy Friday. Fun fact, I thought today was Thursday, and I was like, eh. But happy Friday. I'll probably do another video tomorrow, but that's it for today. Love you all. Plaidman out. Bye.